Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back finally with the Calico Flowers quilt. It is a partially ragged quilt, partially because instead of ragging each individual 5-inch square, we made 4 patches and we're going to sew the 4 patches together and only have to snip around those guys. I have a playlist link in the description of this video, and I will also have it on the end screen so you can go see part 1. This is part 2, and then I think I might do a part 3, and I won't make you wait because I'll need to wash this and dry it and all that stuff. And then when that is completely done, I will also have an eBay auction for this quilt. The bidding will start at 1 penny with free shipping. Free shipping is USA only. There is some kind of an option through eBay now for other countries. Go check it out, but you will be in charge of paying the shipping and whatever fees your country charges you. Stuff like that. When I left off, I had started to make these 4 patches. I have a pin here because that's my top left, and I want to remember that. And I did this step and finished these, so I know that I'm ready for the next step. But I'm going to show you with this guy what I did for these. Look at the backing I decided on. I had a nice piece of backing like this, and I just think it's really cool, and that's what I went with. So this is the backing, and this is one of the squares that I'm going to be sewing with you guys today. Mine came out to about 9 1/4, maybe 9 1/4, 9 1/2. I didn't trim any of these because we're going to be snipping. And so I cut my square. I like to cut the batting 2 inches smaller. So if it's a 9-inch square, you want a 7-inch square for the batting because we're going to make a sandwich. And I like to have plenty of room to sew. So there's a lot of snipping. I want not just a 1/4 inch of fabric to snip because then it'll fray more. So here's what I'm going to do right now. What else did I want to tell you? It seems like there was something else I wanted to tell you. Hang on, let me think. Oh yeah, I only have 3 sets left of these, and I will have those on eBay. Right after this video, you can go grab one. They will sell out quick. I've had them on my exclusive sales for quite a while. I still have 3 left, so I'm just taking from there and moving them over, and the public can go grab them, okay? And here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to take the back, and you want the wrong side up. We're going to put the batting. I eyeball it, and it doesn't have to be perfect at all. And then I am going to put my piece like this. And I am just going to sew an X. And I don't care if the edges are even or not. For instance, you can see this one, the backing is sticking up. This one, you can tell it's like crooked on the top. I don't care. I didn't trim it. Now when you're snipping, if there's something really off and you don't like it, you can trim it. But I'm just going to be snipping and not worrying about it. And we'll get to that in a minute. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to go to the machine and I'm just going to do diagonal like that and that. Don't worry about, making sure you get right through that intersection. Your intersections might not even be matching up, and that's okay too. And I don't, do anything special here. I go to the machine and I just drop my foot and I eyeball it, and I see there's a little bit of a curve right there. Yeah, I don't care, a little bit of a curve. And I like to point out the things that some people would say are not perfect, because this is going to go on eBay, and I want you to know exactly what you're getting. I just love the backing so much. I don't have anything left of this except for a scrap. I really liked it. I might get another bolt of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these back out in order, the order that I have, and then I'm going to start sewing them together, and I will show you that. This is what I ended up coming out with. I did change a couple of the blocks because I would notice that 2 identical prints were touching, or diagonally touching. I like the diagonals to not be, you know, like I wouldn't want this yellow one here. You know, just it kind of throws it off, unless you want to do it that way on purpose. That's up to you. So I have my 9 blocks, and again, go watch the playlist to see part 1. Now I'm going to start putting them together. With rag quilting, we want the backs to be touching each other. So I want to sew here, but I'm not doing right sides together. I'm doing backs together. So I'm going to grab it like this, and then I just put it down, and I'm going to the machine, and this is the edge I'm going to stitch on. Obviously, I'm going to make it match up a little bit better than this. I'm one-handed right now. Going to sew here. It's okay if you touch the batting a little bit. It'll just reinforce it that much more, but you don't have to. I mean, when I'm sewing, I can feel. I'm just going to, you know, sew close to the batting, and then that will be the line that I'm snipping. So let me put these two together, and I'll show you. This is what I have. And it looks like this. All this is sticking up on the right side because we're going to be snipping all that. Let's see. Now I'm putting it back where it belongs, and I'm going to attach this one to this. And again, I just pick it up like that. And I know I'm sewing right there. I sewed where I said I would, and then now I can open this up and we have a completed row. See how that is? I'm trying to get you to see better. There we go. And I'm putting that back up there. Now I'm going to connect these other 2 rows in the same way. This is what I have, 3 completed rows. And what I did is I opened up my seam and I put a pin lengthwise on the bottom. You only have to do that where you're connecting, because I just want to make it easier when I'm sewing to know that they're going to be opened. I don't have to do the top because nothing is going to be connected to that, and I don't have to do the very bottom because nothing is going to be connected to that. And of course, you know, you can make more squares and make this as big as you want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this row to this row, and we want the backs touching, so I'm just going to pick them up like this. And this is the line that I'm sewing on. And now I'm going to sew this to the bottom. Just picking up. I will straighten this out. Sewing right there. I was going to start snipping, but I hate the way a snipped edge looks on the, you know, the outer edge of a rag quilt. I have a video somewhere where I showed how you could add extra fabric to make it puffy. But I'm going to try something. Now, I'm sure this is a thing, but I haven't looked. I just am going by what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking that I'm going to just feel. I can feel where the batting stops, right? And I'm going to have this open. I'm going to fold it just so I can feel some of that batting is there. And then this is the stuff that's going to get snipped. I'm going to fold this all the way across, and it's going to almost be like a self-binding kind of thing. I think. I don't know. I could be screwing this whole thing up. I think it might work. So I'm going to take this edge, roll it up a little bit, and I'm going to sew about, you know, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch in. And I just want to make sure I got a little bit of that batting there. And I think it's going to give it a nice edge. Then when we're done, we're going to snip here. Then that fraying will be not at the very edge. It'll be touching that little like binding that we're creating. I know, that doesn't make sense, does it? But that's what I'm going to do. So folding in, I'm going to sew all the way across. And I'm just trying to make sure that there's a little bit of batting here. Okay? And then when I'm done that, I'll show you what that looks like. All right. I don't know. It looks like that. It looks like I did a pretty good job. And again, this is uneven, but I don't care. That's going to be snipped. You know how like with these, we snip, and I will show you when I'm snipping. We snip, and then that gets all, you know, standing up. But this one, we're going to be snipping this way. And I just think it's going to be a cleaner edge, and it's going to look like it's got a binding around it, I think. Okay, so I did this side, so now I'm going to do the opposite side. Same thing. I'm going to open up my seams, and just roll it over a little bit, and I'm going to sew all the way down. Okay, I didn't do as good of a job on this side. It's rounded a little bit, and I'm going to leave it like this. I'm assuming this will be a pet blanket for a dog or a cat, and they won't care. Now I'm going to do the other edges. Obviously, you know, if you want, you could fold it over and pin. And I'm just going to fold it over like this. It's okay that there's a raw edge because we're going to end up snipping everything that's a raw edge sticking in. So maybe I could pin a couple places, right? Sometimes it's good to do pinning. I guess the first one just worked out good because, I don't know, it was accidental, I think. Accidental perfection the first time around. And then we got a bowed edge on this side. Even when I pin, that doesn't mean I'm going to do a good job. Okay, I'm going to go finish up right here, and then I will do the same here. I snipped, and I was explaining this to you, but I was all over the place, and so just know that I snipped that, and you're not going to see that part of this video because I'm going to start over and just try to explain what I'm doing. These come from the tool section, not the sewing section. These little snipping, you know, spring-loaded snippers are usually cheaper if you go in the tool section. Mine don't bounce back as easily as they used to, but I think I actually only paid like a couple dollars for these, and they're really sharp and they work. Okay, I think I was saying before, what you're not going to hear, for this, you can just snip any way that you like to snip. You could snip just one side, or you can snip both sides. See, if you snip here at the edge on both sides, then those will lift up, and then you can snip through the 4 layers. That really works better, and it's not that hard. So let me just turn, and then I'm going to do that here too. I'm going to, are you even seeing what I'm doing? I'm going to just snip on the 2 edges. So now this lifts up, right? And then I can just put that in one direction toward me and snip. And I snip about, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be even because all the little threads are going to come out and mess up your dryer. And then you will mess up your washing machine too. Mostly, I think, the washing machine. I can't remember. So see how easy that is? And then what I do for this part is I just snip in the same direction, just like that. On that end, on this end. And then the same on the other side. I should have done that as I was working on that side. For a small quilt like this, it's really not a lot of snipping. And I just find it so much easier if you have like almost an inch, like I do. So anywhere that something is tacked down, like again, here, see that's tacked down. So I'd want to snip this way and this way on both sides. Open this up, and you can do it there too. See? Now I can hold that together, and I can go ahead and snip. You just don't want to cut through your stitch line, and you won't. You'll be good. You can do it. I'll just do this one, and then I'm going to show you how I'm handling the edge. And then I'm going to end this video after I show you a little bit more snipping. And I will finish snipping and wash and dry it, and then we will be able to see the finished product. So I'm going to do all the inner snipping. Now for this little edge, see how the fabric is longer on this side? I'm just leaving it like that. After you wash and dry it, if there's parts that are really sticking out weird, you can snip it off at that point. So I'm going to just, this is folded, so I'm going to put my snippers in there and I'm going to cut that fold so it's raw edges. And I'm just on this side going to go all the way down, and hopefully when that frays, it'll be frayed on the top and not just on the edge. I think I'm going to like that. All right, I would just continue all the way down. You were barely seeing me. And then for this side, I'm just going to hold this back, and then I'm going to snip here. You know, and just snip. All the way down this way. And you're just going to do that to the whole little mini quilt. And I'm very happy that I'm going to have this done. I can't wait to see how it turns out, and I only hope it is not a disaster. And I will do this the next video. So I'm planning on working on this tonight, washing it, drying it, and the next video that you get from me, unless something weird happens and I have to tell you something else, the next video will be part 3, and it'll be done, and it will be on eBay with the bowed edge and everything. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.